Okay, here we go. Hopefully today's a little smoother than yesterday. Holy crap. I was in here till 2 in the afternoon, I think. Doing various tasks. I just kept on failing. You know, one of those days when you just keep failing? Usually goes in threes, but anyways, I recovered. Then had a pleasant surprise knock on the door right here, and it was the ladies. Showed up, brought some food to share with the kids that we helped along their way here. Very kind. And then we ended up going up for some early, kind of dinnerish time. Yeah. Hung out, did a lot of talking. And then we talked about lots of shit. But one thing that really caught my attention was when Gina showed me where she grew up. I don't know how many times she's seen these people. But she said that the one time, excuse me, he was walking by on the beach, looking right in the window at her. But she said it didn't turn its head, but she could see its eyes going like this. Just the way she did it, I put me right there and I could see it, you know? And then her daughter was explaining how she's seen them, not the same one or not, but going behind the fish smoke shed, which was, I think she said it was 8 feet tall, and it was way taller than it. Same thing, she said it was walking past. This is right there, like right there. Walking by her. She said the same thing. It didn't turn its head to look at her, but she could see its eyes. Just its eyes. Following, looking at them without moving its head. Kind of creepy, right? Anyway. What was I doing here? Quick note before I forget. The photo of that moose I shared yesterday. I still got to get a hold of these guys. I'll get there. So that is a calf moose on top of a snapped off tree 20 feet in the air. Okay? Everybody's going to have an excuse for how it got there. Right? But keep in mind, it's right where this man had a few experiences with these people and as well seen one running away from him on the trail. So, but take note, I'm a hunter, obviously. Game guide. I don't know how many moose I've broken down on the ground after myself or my hunter harvesting them, shooting them. And I can tell you right, even with deer, the second your game animal drops, the birds start circling. The gray jays find you almost instantly. Starts with them first, usually. Then the ravens. And everybody starts mingling in and getting ready to go at their turn. It's just what they do, especially ravens. Ravens and predators go hand in hand, whether it be ravens and us, wolves and ravens, bears and ravens, they just go hand in hand. I don't know how many times I'm still hunting in the timber, and the ravens see me and they start squawking, and they'll circle around and see what I'm up to, see if there's anything. But I got anything yet? Nope. They just keep tabs on you. It's interesting. Anyway, we'll watch a moose carcass on the ground from a distance up north, especially when we still could hunt grizzly bears. And sometimes we put a flagpole in the ribs years ago with red flagging tape on the top of the pole, stuff it down on the ribs, hard enough that a wolf probably couldn't move it. And then you could observe it from a distance away. And as soon as that flagpole was gone, there's a grizzly bear on it. But anyway, what I'm saying is, a lot of the times, a grizzly won't even get it. You know, we've had moose carcasses down near camp where we can ride on the horse trail and look down on the bottom in that meadow, riding up on the side of the hill, and see it clearly. And keep tabs on it every single day because you're leaving camp every day up that main trail there. And the speed that the birds demolish that carcass is absolutely unbelievable. There'd be golden eagles on it, bald eagles on it, ravens, and gray jays. Just for birds, okay? And they make that carcass into shining white rib bones in less than a week. Less than a week. It's amazing how the carcass changes by the day. And what we leave there typically is the organs, the guts, and whatever meat is kind of left on the bones. You know what I mean? Like, we don't shave right down to the last ounce. We take the forelegs, get the back straps, the tenderloins, the neck meat, and off we go. And believe me, nothing's wasted. You are supposed to leave some for Mother Earth. That's the way it works. But anyway, I'm just letting you guys know how fast birds alone will discard a mature moose carcass, what's left. And I mean, shave it right down to nothing. Now that moose calf sitting on top of that tree, which is perfect for raptors, birds, nothing ate it. You can tell it's just probably freeze-dried during the winter. Well, who knows what time. No, that was fall. Who knows how long that sucker been up there. No birds on it, no bird shit on it, nothing pecking its eyes, nothing pecking at it. Unbelievable for me just to see that. A lot of people observing through the channel here might not know anything about this and not know what they're looking at and how odd it is. Not normal. There's nothing normal about that. Any carcass anywhere is going to be stripped down to the bones. Right? Especially on that pole from an eagle could stand on the back of that thing up there and start pecking at and shredding it. Ravens, jays, nonstop. It'll just fall apart, hit the ground, and then they'll get the rest of it down there, wherever they couldn't reach from the top or holding on to its head, however they're going to do it. But they do it. All right? Mink, marten, bobcats, maybe a big cougar, maybe not. Wolverine, 100%. They're all going to climb up that pole and shred that thing and pull it down to the ground. Another thing, too, I don't know if a lot of you may be anglers and not hunters, but moose meat in the forest is like herring in the ocean. Everything wants to eat it. Herring in the ocean, everything wants to eat herring in the ocean. Well, everything wants to eat moose meat and deer meat in the forest. Everything wants it. Anyways, I thought I'd describe that thoroughly for those of you who might not have picked up on that. Go ahead and try it. You could put when I have put meat traps for trapping wolves and for my camera, I showed you guys, you see that huge grizzly bear without ears jumping up and down, going like that in that one video clip I put on here. I've purchased bug screen. The bug screen you put on doors and windows. And I've wrapped up like just a package of game burger in that wire mesh, and then hung it off of a string, and then another line from tree to tree to keep it way up off the ground. Because if I didn't, the birds are going to gobble it up, or a chunk of meat. That's all there is. And that's hanging off of a thread, off of a string, and hanging off. I'll put a string tree to tree, and then hang it right up there. And I have to wrap that in the bug mesh because the birds will annihilate it. Even though there's just string there. It's the way it is. See what I mean? How weird that moose calf wasn't touched. It's just falling apart. Very not normal. Anyway, there you go. Thought I'd pass that on. So for some reason, a lot of people still automatically knee-jerk and goes, a big cat did it. Big cats, cougars put their stuff in trees all the time. No, they don't. No, they do not. Now, it's funny this time of year too, especially this time of year, a lot of the pages that I follow on Instagram are hunters. A lot of my friends have cougar hounds, and they're posting up their houndsman activities non-stop online. You see it almost daily, and almost all of them are posting up cougar kills they come across as they're chasing cats down, and it's 100% on the ground, under a tree, under a branch, under a bush, and somewhat buried. That's what cougars do. They don't haul shit up trees. Okay? End of story. Now let's get into it. What do we got? This is titled A Story in the Comments of Video of February 28th, 2025. All right. Steve, below is a copy/paste of the story that Gun Patry 1323. Posted in the comments of your YouTube video, posted on February 28, 2025. I've added a few bits of punctuation. All right. Here we go. Well, I'm going to just tell my experience here instead of email. My wife's family owns 100 acres of land up against the Congaree National Park in Hopkins, South Carolina. We have had Sasquatch on that property since the 70s. House is built in 1922. On the back of the property, I would find piles of deer bones, just skulls and backbones and nothing else. There was so much evidence of them tree structures and pine trees snapped like toothpicks and twisted. One evening hunting, I stayed until dark. And earlier I was using antlers and could clearly hear rocks clacking from the other end of the property. It mimicking me. It did it so much, killing a deer wasn't going to happen. So after sitting until dark, the Sasquatch ran quickly up behind me and stood there. I could barely see the outline of its body, and I almost jumped out of my deer stand. Lucky I was tethered off with a safety line, lol. Well, I had one more experience and continue to have them. I haven't been to property in a while. I planned a visit next week. Everyone stay strapped, stay safe. Okay, and then P.S. Also in the comments of that video, which has an opening showing you and Ruby pup on the quad, someone commented, at 40 seconds, something standing on the road in the background just over your right shoulder. If anyone cares, but strange. Sure enough, over your right shoulder, left on screen, in the distance, something is there that is super black, super thick, if short for its width. However, before that, at 25 and 26, you pass that stump to the side of the road on your right, the left side of the screen. Also in that video was the comment, I wonder if they're immune to rabies. The thought of something 10 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and well over 800 pounds stumbling through the woods under the effects of rabies is something to keep you awake at night. And to have you forever abandon the middle of the night walk to the outhouse. Yeah, no shit. No shit. There you go. There you go. More people in the Club of No Return that didn't email in. There's lots in the comments. Holy cow. There's a lot in the comments on my Instagram post when I posted about this topic the other day. I think I shared this email in the post. I think I posted this whole email the other day. January, February 27th? Yeah, but I'm going to read it right here anyway. Okay, I'm sending you this to ask you to help me with the power of prayer. My diagnosis is pretty grim. They're going to remove my voice box. It's the only way to get the cancer out of my body. Steve, I ask you to help with the power of prayer. I remember you saying that your friends have a prayer group. This whole channel's a prayer group. I've been a long-time listener and a member of the Club of No Return. And I have one more test before I have the surgery. If it's bad, they're going to do it. And I've got maybe a year left. The reason I'm sending you this is not for sympathy, but because you have become a very important part of this learning experience. Positive power of prayer. Let's give it a try. All of my family and friends are praying for me too. Well, I didn't get to send this until now. The 17th has passed. My diagnosis hasn't. I have to get one more test before the surgery. This test will show if it's spread too far to stop. They won't do the test until I have insurance. I just got insurance, but it won't be effective until the 1st of March. I'm asking my prayer circle to pray that they can stop the cancer. I'm hoping that your prayer circle could add to all the prayers I need. You're becoming a powerful figure because of your honesty and because you're surrounded by positive people who have a great view of life. Let's make this prayer happen. I'd love to come up and see you in person. Such a beautiful area that you live in. Thanks for all you do for the world. You, sir, a true gentleman. Mark Manella. Mark, here they come. If they haven't been coming yet, I'm pretty sure I posted that. It could have been somebody else. In the, what's it called on the YouTube channel? whatever, the page, the post, when it just says post on my page when I hit post to put a post on there, okay? But it's on there in the menu on the YouTube channel, right? I may have wrote that there too already, but there you go. I guarantee you the prayers are flooding right now. Good luck, my man. Be strong. You're not alone. You're not alone. This is titled Test Email. Do not read on channel. Shit. All right. Well, I'll not mark this as read, and I'll make sure I read it to myself after I'm done here with everybody. Okay, this has been read. And what's this one? I've been watching for 5.5 years. God, how is time flying like that? It seems like everything in life to me seems like yesterday. It's very frustrating for me to have that. I don't know why I'm like that. Everything's like yesterday. So when I hear people comment that I've been doing this for over 5 years, it's like, what? Come on. Weird. Sorry. Hi, Steve. Please use my name freely. It's Dean Weiss from Eastern Pennsylvania. Sounds familiar. Did I read this? As always, I pray that you, Sarah, Ruby, and the kids, and all the critters are doing well. At first, you maintain the only website I've ever viewed that I have continuously watched for such a long time. I mean, virtually every day. Why is that so? The answer is simple. Pure, unadulterated truth. Your readings from Bobby are priceless. No one ever gave her a shimmer of credibility while she was alive, and you have given her research and work the credibility that she should have gotten. I can't put into words how much this has made an impression on me. I'd never ever heard of her before, and that's the essence of your channel, which has always been loyal to that same goal. Do I watch other channels? Yes. But after yours, daily, and I never tire of the truth. We're on the cusp of a new awakening, and your words are not insignificant in opening people's eyes. I cannot overemphasize my thankfulness for what you've done and what you're doing. Well, what a kind email, my man. Very kind. It's definitely a group effort, right? It is definitely a group effort. So, the thanks goes to everybody. Appreciate you, man. Weird eye shine in Cornish Forest, UK. Hi, Steve. This was taken around 5 years ago in a forest in North Cornwall, UK. I took the photo above as B-roll for our channel to show up the tent lights. Didn't notice the eyes until ages later. So, checked out the video, and we actually caught the eye shine again. But on the video, the eyes are red. I've sent a link to a couple of British channels, but got no reply. Bearing in mind, we would be called complete Fruit Loops here, as there is no such thing here. We'll send you the link to the video if you want to see it. Use my name if you want. It's Taz. All the best and keep up the good work. All right, here is the photo. Whoa. So that's looking like it's just off to the side of the tree too, isn't it? There's that tree that's in line with the center of the tent. And that's a very, very wide spread of eyes. Very wide. There you go. Well, thank God you got on video what isn't there. Right? Thank God you got it on video. The UK. The UK, I do not envy any of the citizens in the UK right now. Oh my God. The people need to rise up, and that is a fact today. You got that piece of shit globalist in the UK who's absolutely pushing for World War III, and that is a fact, and that dude needs to be taken down. Somebody needs to take one for the team. Bite my lip. You know what I'm talking about. There's a handful of them. A handful of those globalists that need to... Somebody's got to take one for the team, and fast. Sorry about that. Appreciate the email, man. Sorry. All right, this next email is titled, "My dad was a great fan of yours." Hi there, I know we don't know each other, but yesterday I unfortunately discovered my father, and he had passed away. Oh no. God bless his soul. He was the kindest, most loving person you could imagine. He often mentioned you and your stories. I was going through his email, and I noticed he had shared this photo he had painted with you, and feel like I should keep trying to share it in his memory, to spread his love via his painting with the people he admired the most. I don't expect you to share the photo on social media, but just to have you acknowledge my dad would mean a great deal. I hope you keep up the work, and you can guarantee I'll be watching back on your videos, remembering how much Dad enjoyed watching/listening to you. I have attached a picture of my dad, John Hooper, who was 55 years old with an unexpected death. Many thanks, Jordan Hooper. Condolences, man. Sorry to hear that, Jordan. And shared. And here is the gentleman. I hope he's resting in peace. I wonder if he emailed me. If he did, can you let me know if he emailed me in the past with an experience and either resend it, or I guess I could probably search his name, couldn't I? And see if there's one in there and make sure he gets heard, right? There's a lot of people that are waiting to be heard. Appreciate that. I appreciate that message, man. All right, here's another one with no title. Hello, Steve. I'm hoping this is the proper email address to share our stories. My name is Ryan, and I live in Oregon. I've been enjoying the outdoors since I can remember. And in the past, I was never afraid of being in the woods or out in the country unless the weather was sketchy and there was a possibility of getting lost or stranded. And even the fear was minimal because I was always prepared for that just in case. When I was 16-ish years old, my friend and I were fishing at Detroit Lake, which is located about 50 miles east of Salem, which is the state capital. This lake is very popular in the late spring, early summer, so there's always a good amount of people there. My friend and I were fishing by the marina, which is part of the lake that's closest to the town of Detroit. That part of the lake has a lot of boat traffic, so my friend and I decided to row our canoe away from all the traffic and headed towards the part of the lake that just runs parallel to the lake. What? And head towards the part of the lake that runs parallel to the lake. Just under half a mile from the marina is a little island in the lake called Deer Island. So there is about 100 to 125 yards of water between the island and land. I never seen a deer anywhere near that island, but I suppose considering the short distance between the mainland and the island, it's possible deer have found their way to the island along with other critters. As we near the island, both my buddy and I hook into a fish at the same time, which normally wouldn't be weird except for the fact that both fish were really good sized rainbows. Rainbows like 22 to 24 inches. And they're swimming in the opposite direction, but both were headed away from the island. Those are nice fish. No sooner do we get our fish into the boat, do we start to hear this splashing sound. So we row closer to the island. We didn't see anything, but the wind picked up in our direction, and there was a very awkward smell. Like wet dog. Like your shoes get when they're wet and end up drying in the trunk of your car or something. That lacks ventilation. Some of the descriptions of the stink are kind of comical, right? And nasty. They're all nasty. At the time the smell hit my nose, it forced me to look down in the water, and I never thought that trout schooled up, but about 300 trout came swimming past us away from the island, where the splashing noise is coming from. But they were really close to the surface. That's really weird. We made mention of it being weird, not just the school of fish, but the last 10 minutes as a whole. Anyway, I tell my buddy to start rowing towards the island, because I had to piss. And as we got closer, he says that he can hear branches breaking. which I could too, but I chalked it up to the wind knocking stuff out of the trees. I jumped out of the canoe and walked in the bush a bit because there are sheriff deputies on boats, and they will not hesitate to write you up if they see you pissing in the bushes. Are you serious? No frickin' way. Oh my God. I can't believe I just read that. Crazy. So I wander in there, and the wind is kind of ripping, so I can't hear very well, but I can hear my buddy yelling something behind me, but I couldn't make it out, so I didn't even bother to acknowledge him. Plus, I had to piss so bad that had the majority of my concentration. This is until the Marion berry bush to my right swayed side to side about 2 feet in either direction, so I knew it wasn't the wind. Then all of a sudden the wind came my direction along with that smell again. Meanwhile, my buddy is losing his shit loudly. Just as the smell hit my nose, this dark to medium brown creature pops up with its back to me and takes off running really fast, and I mean super fast. And before I know it, it's gone. Still in shock a bit, I start to gather my thoughts together and notice my legs cold and wet. Then my buddy runs up to me and says, "Dude, could you not hear me?" There was like a gray 9 to 10 foot hairy man like 25 feet from you, just watching you. Apparently, I walked right by him. I said, "No, but I saw the 3.5 to 4 foot tall brown one running out of the bushes and pissed all down my leg." We rolled back to the truck, and on our way out, we stopped by one of the 2 stores in town. And I said something to the lady at the counter about our experience. And of course, she looked at me like I was special and was speaking Chinese to her. Like she felt sorry for me, but wasn't understanding what I was saying. And on our way out of the store, this old-timer stops me and waves us over to his truck. He overheard what I had to say to old girl and proceeds to tell me that in the 50s, he's been in this town and in these woods that nobody has ever seen the Squatches on the island or on that side of the lake before, but said about they have been seen all up and down the Brighton Bush River and Road. So that's like 2 miles from the island heading east on the lake, and the river empties in the lake, so not far from where we saw him. And after hearing that, I immediately remembered a camping trip we had gone on when I was like 7 or 8. And we were sitting around the fire, and just then, we all started to get this really overwhelming feeling. Just then, someone or something started throwing rocks at us. And when my uncle went to confront them, he came running back telling us to get in the truck now. And we left everything there. And I never heard another word about it. And that wasn't due to a lack of effort, because I was like a pit bull with a chew toy. I wouldn't let it go. To this day, he won't talk about it, but at that moment, that old man told us that it all made sense. Funny thing is that right after he said that, and I came to my epiphany, the old-timer looks at me and says, "Pissed yourself, eh?" We laughed so hard, I about did it again. Thanks to you for giving us witnesses a platform to talk about our experiences, because just like my uncle, most people are afraid to talk about it, whether it's fear, ridicule, or just plain scared, because unfortunately, mankind has always feared what we don't understand. No kidding. Welcome to the club. That reminds me of reading that one. A guy commented on my Instagram post the other day when I posted the picture of footprint. And actually, I made 3 posts about this topic after that too. And then I went, okay, that's it. I won't do it anymore. Just sharing pictures and videos. But anyway, the guy commented on there, and he said that he has video of 200-pound boulders flying out of the forest and smashing into the lake when they were fishing somewhere. I think in BC. And I said, I'd really like to see that video if you want to share it. And he goes, yeah, it's on my other phone. I can email it to you. And I'm like, okay, here's my email. And I'm still waiting. Isn't it funny how many people have we had here that say they have a photo or video or whatever, and they just don't Remember that guy? One of the examples stands out. There's a guy in California a year ago, I think. Remember? And he said that the traffic was stopped, and he took a photo of this thing towering over, like this huge thing. I think there's a car in there too. It's a bit of a shitty photo, but he said that his sister had a telephoto lens and got perfect pictures of it. And said he'd send it. Never did. Whatever. And I know people are going to be yelling at me, the ones that still don't get it. Well, you've got video on your phone you're not sharing. I never said I would share it. I said I'd share it. You bump into me, I'll show you. No problem. But that's NA, not applicable. When you're sworn to respect someone, you respect them. Period. And if you don't, you're a scumbag. You're a weak scumbag. Anyway, moving along. It's funny digging through my computer. I got to dump a whole bunch of videos on this laptop or it slows it up. And then I came across that one picture of the stand. Remember I showed you guys that? I think I went in there. I took you guys in there. I went by myself early spring where there wouldn't be any, way less cover. And brought my Magnum. And I went in there. What was I doing in there? Maybe that's when I collected my camera, or I put my camera. Oh no, I put it. That's when I went in there as well, and I thought I'd double up going in there, and I tied the bag of meat, small handful, like maybe even just a regular 2 pound burger, 2 pound moose burger package wrapped in bug screen, and I put it up between the two trees because I knew there'd be a pile of I got lots of moose on that video. I didn't see any wolves. Got some black bears, and then finally got that great big grizzly bear with no ears left. And jumped up, and he got it. Anyway, and I took you guys in there, and I showed you the stand. And I explained that stand earlier. But this, I'm just picturing how big whoever it was that ripped that thing off of there had to have been. It has 2x10s on edge with 8-inch lag bolts and washers into the sides of those huge stumps, the trees. And then I even put another block underneath those with lag bolts in, even because I'm not a framer. Well, I almost am now, but anyways, I put them in there. And then had joist hangers going across, spanning across, and then 1/2-inch plywood on top of that. And then we had artificial turf, lawn carpet, rolled on top of that for silence, and then a couple lawn chairs and aluminum ladder going up. And I think it was about 1, 2, 3 sheets of plywood wide, I think, or 4, 3 or 4. But I dragged all that stuff in there when there was about 5 feet of snow in there, 4 feet, whatever it was, on my snowmobile in the winter when I was trapping wolves, anticipating to make the stand in that swamp. Nobody goes back in there. And I'll never forget my friend, big day type dude, 250-pound dude. And because he ran into one of these people hunting deer off the Duffy Lake Highway. And he just can't stand talking about it. Doesn't want to talk about it. And him and another friend, there was 3 of us that built the stand. And we finally got up there and perched ourselves up. It was so cool. And creepier than shit. Because I said to those guys, when we finally put the last sheeting, we got the ladder up, I said, well, this thing's never coming down, but if it does, you know what's going to tear it down, huh? And then my buddy just went like this. Like, don't even say it, right? I think I managed to have that stand up for about 3 years, maybe, before it got tore down. But here's the kicker. The lag bolts that went in and held it were bent up. And the sheets of plywood were about, how far was that? 20 or 30 feet. There was some alders growing up like this, mature alders, and the plywood was in between them. Like if you put a sheet of plywood, well, if you placed it there. How'd that happen? Right? So anyways, if you look at this, when you look at this picture me standing there, I put the camera on the tripod, I believe, so I could show you guys the scale. And picture something ripping those 2x10s up and out from the ground, standing on the ground and ripping those out. right? And if you're looking at the photo, if you go to the right into that dark big timber, and you go through that timber, it's all huge cedars all the way through there, and swamp behind me, behind the camera. And if you go through those trees, and you'll see that's why anybody familiar with trapping, that's why I was using fence staples, big ones, and to staple my end of my wolf snares into those big trees because they're just too big to choke around, right? So I'd use 3 fencing staples, plenty enough, and hammer them in. And that was when I was hammering in the staples with my Est-wing roofing, those Est-wing metal shank hammers with the axe on one side, the hatchet one side, the hammer on the other. I was using one of those, swinging into those suckers, and it was about -20 maybe, and no wind, and I had to snowshoe into that forest. You see how big and creepy and dark it is in there? I had to snowshoe in there. I had a 243 with me in my backpack, and then I thought I heard something when I dropped my hammer, because on those last swings, when you're sending that staple or nail, whatever you want to call it, into the tree, that's some loud knocks going through that crisp frozen air, right? And then all of a sudden the knocks started coming back from above me, this way behind on the other side of the swamp, and then up on the rock bluff above where my skidoo is parked. And I never went back in there again until that day with this photo. That's when I went back in there again since that went down. And I think that was about I don't know. I don't think I went in there for 3 or 4 years until I finally went in there and I took you guys in there. Anyways, there's that photo and there's that experience. Now, and there's a lot of experiences all in that whole stretch. A lot. And this as well about 5 kilometers from where my arrow was whatever returned to me, sticking out of that snow. 5 kilometers from there. Anyways, babbling away. Here we go. Oh, what's this? All right, so I'm going through my... That wasn't me farting, that was the dog, all right? Anyway, I was going through my notes looking for unreads, and I found one unread, and it said pictures. And there's a bunch of pictures without the email, so then I had to go dig in my email, and here's the email. So, I'll read this. I don't know if we've read this or not, but I definitely haven't shared the pictures. So, we're going to have to do this all, right? Harryman, Bristol Bay. My name is Jesse Thompson. I live in Duvall, Washington, born and raised in Maui. Guided for several seasons on the Nushagak, Togiak, Ungalath, there we go, I got it. At blank blank lodge. Said don't name it. Okay, so I think I've read this, but I have to read it if I'm going to share the pictures, right? The pictures came later in another email, so here we go. My first experience was at King Camp on the Nushagak. We just set up camp, and it was the first night. We fired up the big generator, 6 of us, 5 stayed up drinking until mildly 3 a.m. At 2:30 a.m., 2 moose walked right into camp and stood next to us, right next to the fire for 5 minutes. Just stood there like they were scared. It was so weird. So we got to bed at about 4 a.m. The only person who hasn't drank at all yet, so also stayed up with us. Sorry. The only person who hasn't drank at all yet also stayed up with us and woke me up with eyes as big as dinner plates, and he couldn't talk. He was just saying, look, look, look. I can't look, look. What is this? What is this? You gotta just look. And mumbling. So I went and looked, and there were the tracks from a really big human-looking foot. I wear a size 13 EE, and it was 2 times the length, 2 times the width. I have pics, but it was old school flip phone days. They aren't great decent. The only ones that sold me were where it went up the muddy bank. You could see where it had lost traction 2 times, and the toes curled, and the mud was raised in between the toes as it slid. No possible way to fake this. Our camp is 100 yards below the Iowithla River on the Nishigak, for reference. First guest showed up at camp, and I noticed the beaver lodge across from camp was absolutely demolished. It was on a point going into the slough. It got about a foot deep, and as I trimmed up my kicker before I hit the bottom, I saw 3 sets of huge footprints. The kicker's a small boat motor, all right? And as I saw them, the boat hit and mucked everything up. I could not see or show anyone else, but I know what I saw. The beaver lodge was a monster the size of a VW bug, and it was demolished. I told an old-timer about this in Dillingham, and he said the hairy men like the young beavers. He also said one time he heard 2 hairy men talking about how they was going to divide him up, who was getting his liver and such. He said he woke up and said, "Don't eat me, I'm of you," and they walked away. I asked how he knew they were saying. He said they speak Yupik. Some of us don't die, we just turn into hairy man. And Dillingham, Equok village area has tons of Bigfoot sightings. I always believed this summer just set it in stone. Bunch of punctuation missing, but no big deal, we'll get her. My last summer at blank, just say Lake Alleganac. If you share it, that is. I was doing evening fish with one guest after dinner, and we were going to go fish Sunshine Creek. It was July, lots of light left, good tipper. And I got 2 fish, so I was happy to take them. I got to fish, so I was happy to take them. I'll send a map and some pics for reference next email with my Bigfoot prints pics. So we're cruising across the lake in the John boat, and over at Lily Creek, I see a figure standing at the creek mouth. I thought, strange. No boat. There's nobody around. Haven't seen any boats go up by the lodge. Maybe he's in trouble. So I veered that way. I'm about 1,000 yards away at this point, which hindsight showed me what I really saw amongst other clues. So I get to about 500 yards. The figure is hunched over, looking in the water, like a hairy man watching fish. Again, hindsight. I'm thinking, no boat, no fishing pole. And I can see between this figure's legs. It is standing upright. It has to be a man. Maybe he's setting a net 300 yards. Still no boat, no fishing pole, and no net buoys. 100 yards. I shout out, "Are you okay?" and power down. The figure doesn't look up. Just walks up the creek mouth and up the bank, and at that point, I knew it all clicked. My guest hadn't said a word the entire time. I got back on step and headed towards our fishing destination with goosebumps and my head spinning. No words spoken between us. I'm figuring maybe my guest was asleep or just half-wasted, so he didn't even notice. I'm not saying anything. So for about 15 minutes to sunshine, complete silence. I land the boat, throw the anchor, get on shore, and start rigging our rods. And this MFer stands up and says, almost yells, but in a funny, nice way, and says, "Hey, are we seriously not going to talk about the Bigfoot we just saw?" And I looked up and smiled and said, "You did see that?" He said, "How could I miss it?" What the F? And after much discussion and telling him my previous stories, I told him, what should we do? We have no proof. Everyone will think we're crazy, or we'd try and go find him. And tell me that wasn't the coolest thing you've ever seen. He agreed, and we said nothing. We did go back to reenact what we saw, and when I stood approximately where the hairy man was, the creek was up to my chest. And I'm 5'11", and I could see in between his legs when he was fishing. Also, when we got back to the bank, no tracks. He was able to make over a 6-foot stride into the bush and leave zero evidence. I got goosebumps just thinking about it again. The first story I've ever heard you tell was about grizzly and reloads from a friend and how you had the same bullet all season. You're an amazing storyteller, and stories are important. I feel a lot of today's problems could be solved if everyone knew their story, as in where they came from, who their ancestors are, and how to story their own life. We are very disconnected from Mother Nature as a whole on a societal level. And in other news, if you haven't heard, my friend definitely got on board with QAnon. Q Alerts is a great site. It's worldwide, the Great Awakening. WWG1WGA, where we go one, we go all. As much as you know about government censorship, I'm sure you may already know. Stay safe, keep the stories coming. This is amazing content. Jesse Thompson. Jesse, appreciate you, man. And there you go, you guys. Fellow outdoors guide, sharing his truth here. Now, let's have a look at the pictures. Let's look at the pictures. First one. Here are the really big footprints and some rough idea of where I had the actual visual sighting. Once you leave the lodge in a plane and fly over these areas, there is nothing until Togiak. The vastness of wilderness that is Bristol Bay is unbelievable. Oh, you didn't want me to say where you were in that lodge, right? So I can't do that. Okay, I'll save the... He's got 1, 2, 3. He's just showed me 4 Google Maps screenshots of the bay. All right? And it's in Alaska. But here's a photo. Okay, so that plug up there, you're going to be fishing a large plug. So I'm guessing that plug's about that big. I'm guessing. And there is a footprint with quad tracks. Looks like it stepped on quad tracks. By the looks of those prints, possibly. There's another one. It's the same one. It's a different one. Same one? There you go. Shared. I appreciate you, man. If you're still hanging out, I'm guessing you probably are. You got any updates? Fire away. Fire away. Okay, I gotta save these images. So I'm gonna book it out here. Got stuff to do. A little drizzly out there and chilly, but I got stuff I can do today. Lots. What else? Now, I was talking to the ladies last night. One of them mentioned another lady. One of the ladies had a video of one of these people in a place that I'm familiar with on her phone, walking along the shoreline. And she said, "Oh, he sure was big." I'm like, really? She's had a video all this time and hadn't mentioned it? Crazy. So I think I'll email her shortly here and see if what the story is behind that video and where it went. If it's not shareable, or if it is shareable, maybe she'll share it here with you guys. I don't know. We'll see. I'll find that out in a minute. And then carry on. Keep sharing the absolute truth, right? Every single day. Keep sharing the truth. Every single day in your face. Can't stop it, right? It kind of makes me laugh sometimes to the point we've gotten here because I don't know why. When people try to stop me from doing something, that's a guarantee I'm going to do it at all costs. And I always look back to the smaller handful of guys in that old hunting forum, and they just wanted me to shut up so bad. They didn't want anybody talking about this topic so bad. They attacked every single brave, honest person that came forward on that forum. They attacked him. And that just showed me, obviously how messed up they are, but how badly they just didn't want this talked about. They didn't want anybody at all to think for a tenth of a second, maybe factual. And it just makes me kind of giggle at the point we've got to now. Because those are the people that have given me so much encouragement to do this. And I almost want to, if I get a hold of those guys, I guarantee you they don't watch this channel, but if they were, or somebody knew them, just to thank them, to let them know we're thankful for them enabling us to get this far with sharing the truth in the world. Good work, boys. Anyway, there you go. What's going on now? Yeah, I think the trail camera people are going to send me a handful of cameras. to give to you guys, I hope. And the link for those other trail cameras, and they got a whole bunch of different ones, and they are seriously the best ones I've ever used, ever to date. And that link is in the video description below. Sarah's store with her latest How to Hunt stuff, which I haven't stolen anything, I don't think, of this last batch. She's got them in there. I don't know what's left. Oh, I gotta go to the post office for her. Shit. Drop off. I got boxes of those things I gotta drop off. All of your guys' stuff. I gotta do that right away. And get that done. Get it in the mail for her. She's safely flying right now. I think she already made it to Calgary. No, made it to New Brunswick, I think. And she's got a... I don't know. She's on her way anyway. She's on her way to her family's farm. And I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to check the weather. I might be able to possibly take the dog out for an adventure. We'll see. I'm on the fence of what I'm going to do. You know, there's a lake. I found it on the map off of Logan Road, just up the road here. And it is the lake where those guys, when they were kids, were walking up the Logan Road to the lake, saw that thing. Was it chasing them? And they woke up in the culvert under the frickin' highway. Lost time. And I'm thinking, maybe if I get my stuff done early, I'll go up there and I'll check it out and take you guys with me. Maybe. Sometimes I'm hesitant, you know, because... Who was it? I was talking to Nino last night. He's texting me. I was also talking to the ladies about this at dinner last night, too. And how, you know, if they know your intentions, they know what you're about to do, they know why you're doing it. And do I need to go up there and possibly screw up and get it across to somebody that I'm actually opening up a door, and then you get to come to my house? I'm not down with that. I've got enough weird shit going on right around here since we bought the place, but it's tapered down a lot, but I don't know, I guess I can go up there innocently with it in my mind. Just leave me alone. I just want to see this lake, and I think I want to go down and see that culvert under the highway. That's it. Leave me alone. I might do that, because it's close by, and I haven't seen it. We'll see. Share my story at howtohunt.com. Get that truth shared no matter what, alright, you guys? And if you can, if you've got it in you, speak out against war. I've been preaching this since day one. No frickin' war. None. Alright? There's a very, very, very small group of humans on this planet who want everybody to go to war and die for them. It doesn't make sense. It's wrong. These have got to be, if there's living demons on the face of the planet, it is that group of politicians that wants war to keep ripping, and they are absolutely trying to get World War III going. And if you think this is political talk and it's pissing you off, you're a loser. Alright? This is our home. Right? This is our home. I watched, on that note, so amazing. We were talking about this last night at dinner. You know, if you go on Instagram, and I'm predominantly hunting and fishing and outdoors. Positive shit until I get pissed off, and the other time I'll post something for everybody that needs to see or hear. And I came across, I don't know, the stuff that you can see online as opposed to what they don't want you to talk about doesn't make sense. You know, you speak out about COVID, they take you offline. Speak out against the war, they take you offline. You know what I mean? Speak out against about how our freedom of speech is being taken, especially in Germany and the United Kingdom. Australia, they take you offline and arrest you. But meanwhile, there's videos of people getting blown up, shot, ran over. It's amazing, the disgusting, outrageous, crazy-ass shit that's available online. But on that note, getting back to my point, I saw this video, very graphic. Guy had a GoPro on, which most of these guys in the war do. Two guys going at it hand-to-hand, combat, in the Ukraine war. And then it got to the point they're stabbing each other and shit. It was absolutely horrible. And we all seen tons. It's almost like you get numb to it. You've seen so many of these clips over the past while. But I was watching this, and it really, really hit me hard. And I had a huge lump in my throat. As the one guy, I mean, they're stabbing. This guy's grabbing the blade of the knife, trying to stop it, and his hands are bleeding, and they're just the sounds of them fighting each other. And this is it. This is the end of life for one of them. Probably both of them by now, but... And all I was picturing was the struggles going down, and I'm just picturing these two guys don't even know each other. They don't even know each other. Never met each other. These two men never met each other once in their lifetime, don't know each other, and they are trying to kill each other. And succeeded. And that's it. There's no go fishing for you. There's no having fun with underwater cameras and see if you can catch a steelhead for you. There's no having little chippies looking at you with a big smile for you. None of that. You don't get to go on vacation. You don't get to have that excitement of asking that girl out. Maybe getting married. It's all gone for you. Done. Because you went to war and were convinced that you hated somebody you never ever met before in your life. They never did anything to you ever. Both guys. And they did it for a very small handful of living demons in human form. And they're never going to get... And those demons are never going to feel pain. They're never going to grab the blade of that knife, stabbing them and trying to stop it and slicing their hand wide open. They're never going to feel that. They're not even going to have mud on their knees. These people who are doing this, causing this, they're never even going to have mud on their clothes. Not even going to get dirty. They're not even going to get dirty. They are never, ever going to sit and crave sleeping in their own bed. Ever. No pain. They're not going to lose any of their friends. None of the kids are going to die. And they're killing millions of people right now. It's got to stop. It has to stop. Right? It's got to stop. They're not even talking about stopping. They will not talk peace. If I could, believe me, if I could, I'd do something. Those people got to be stopped. I think the only way possibly we can stop is everybody's got to stop giving them money. I'm down. We've got to set a date, a time, organize. Whoever starts organizing that's probably going to get eliminated from the internet pretty quick. But somehow everybody has to grow a set and realize that these demons can't do anything without the sweat off your back. They can't do nothing. Right? They can't do nothing without us. You got to take that power away from them. You got to stop giving them money. Stop them cold turkey. Chop suey. Done. Quit fighting amongst each other and stop giving these demons in human form money. Got to stop giving them the money. All right? All these people dying. They're not supposed to be doing that to each other. They're supposed to be having fun and rocking this lifetime out and doing what they love to do. You know? It's got to stop, you guys. You guys got to stop it. We have to stop it. We are the only ones that can stop this shit. Right? Got to stop it. There you go. I'm done. Share my story at howtohunt.com. Get me the truth. Keep speaking the truth about everything, all right? Don't be scared.